The former United States Special Counsel Robert Mueller has told a congressional hearing that his investigation into possible obstruction of justice did not exonerate President Donald Trump. Mueller's much-anticipated testimony before the House Judiciary Committee follows the completion of his investigation and subsequent 448-page report, which confirmed Russian interference in the 2016 election, found insufficient evidence to establish a criminal conspiracy by members of the Trump campaign, but made absolutely no determination whatsoever on whether the president obstructed justice based on Justice Department guidance that a sitting president cannot be indicted.
With the president trumpeting the common refrain, no collusion, no obstruction, and total exoneration, the Democrat committee chair, who opened up questioning of Mueller, sought to clarify if that was indeed the case. Watch.
Director Mueller, the president has repeatedly claimed that your report found there was no obstruction and that it completely and totally exonerated him. But that is not what your report said, is it?
Correct. It is not what the report said.
And now, reading from page 2 of volume 2 of your report that's on the screen, you wrote, quote, "If we had confidence after a thorough investigation of the facts that the president clearly did not commit obstruction of justice, we would so state. Based on the facts and the applicable legal standards, however, we are unable to reach that judgment," close quote. Now, does that say there was no obstruction?
No.
In fact, you are actually unable to conclude the president did not commit obstruction of justice. Is that correct?
Well, we, at the outset, determined that we, when it came to the president's culpability, we needed to go forward only after taking into account the OLC opinion that indicated that a president, a sitting president, cannot be indicted.
So the report did not conclude that he did not commit obstruction of justice. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Answering a different question, the former FBI director said he could charge the president with obstruction of justice after he left office, while Republicans sought to push back with allegations of bias within his prosecutorial team against accusations of obstruction, and particularly the lack of an indictment brought by the special counsel.
You stated that you would stay within the report. I just stated your report back to you. And you said that collusion and conspiracy were not synonymous terms. That was your answer, was no.
That's correct.
In that, page 180 of volume 1 of your report, it says, as defined in legal dictionaries, collusion is largely synonymous with conspiracy as that crime is set forth in General Conspiracy Statute 18 U.S.C. 371. Now, you said you chose your words carefully. Are you contradicting your report right now?
Not when I read it.
So you would change your answer to yes then?
No. If you look at the language.
I'm reading your report, sir. It's a yes or no answer.
Page 180.
Page 180, volume 1. Okay. This was from your report.
Correct. And I leave it with the report.
As a reluctant witness, Mueller refused to say whether his report laid the foundations for an impeachment of the president. Among a host of questions he refused to answer or referred to as outside of his purview. But watch this exchange on why the president instructed his then White House counsel Don McGahn to tell the then Attorney General to fire Mueller.
Director Mueller, why did the President of the United States want you fired?
I can't answer that question.
You found evidence, as you lay out in your report, that the President wanted to fire you because you were investigating him for obstruction of justice. Isn't that correct?
That's what it says in the report, yes. And I stand behind the report.
The Judiciary Committee hearing, all 3.5 hours of it, was a prelude to Mueller's testimony before the House Intelligence Committee that dealt extensively with a section of the report which confirms widespread Russian interference in the 2016 election in aid of the Trump campaign. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.